Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on my fifth wheel camper. I am replacing the two 6-year-old Duracell 6-volt GC2 batteries. I already removed them, they're in the garage. I'm installing a single, eco-worthy 280 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. This is my battery compartment. To fit the new battery, I have to make a couple changes. These two top bars will have to be removed to make room, make a board for the battery to sit on, and install a piece of 2-inch rigid foam to seal the bottom of the compartment. As most people know, lithium iron phosphate batteries do not like the cold, and this compartment is not heated. We don't do any winter camping in the north, and I plan to remove the battery when we winterize the camper. But we do a lot of late fall and early spring camping where nighttime temps can get below freezing. If this is a problem, I will install some kind of heat and thermostat to keep the battery warmer. Okay, so I start by measuring the area for the 2-inch foam board, and then just using the tape measure to roughly measure. I'm marking the foam with my fingernail. I'm going to just quickly go through this. It's not any detailed work. You're just trying to get this board cut out. It's going to be bigger than it needs to be. It's going to be too tight to fit in there. But this makes it a manageable piece to work with. Put it up there, find where it hits, trim it, put it up there, find where it hits, trim it, and keep on doing this until you get a nice snug fit. This foam board cuts really easy. I'm using a sheetrock knife, a sheetrock saw. Really all you have to do is score it more than halfway through, and then because there's a 90 degree cut in this one, you have to cut one side. That's not, right now I'm not even cutting all the way through. I'm just kind of cutting the at least halfway through. Stuff makes a mess. Again, just cutting it. Gonna try it. Nope, still a little bit left. You can see it poke through in some spots, but it's not all the way through. And now it will snap right off. Gonna give it a try, being hopeful that it's gonna fit, but nope, gotta do some trim work. This is where the hydraulic slide hoses go through, making a spot for them. Gonna try it. Nope, there's a piece of angle iron that runs along the back. It's a little too thick. It's only about got to take off about 3/4 of an inch to an inch for it to slide up. About a 1-inch piece of angle iron. You'll see it later. So just trimming this little piece off and getting close here though. You can see that also, that middle notch, there's a piece of wire loom that went right there, and here we go. It fit. This is what it looks like. So it's nice and snug in there, easily sealed up the little bit of gaps around the edge with the with Great Stuff foam. You can see where the loom goes through. That can all be sealed. This will actually be a mouse-proof area once this is completed. Next we move on to so I built the board that's going to sit on these bars right here, this one and this one. But the battery is the lithium iron phosphate battery is wider than these two. I could probably leave this one in, but I think it would be more, I think it would look better if I got rid of both, because it could slide back a little bit from the door and be in the edge here. So I'm going to use this cutoff wheel and cut these two ends off and try and clean them up a little bit. But I don't think there's any way that I'm gonna, I gotta be right in here and I can't do it one-handed, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to video the cutting. And just for safety, I have water right there. They do have a lot of fluid film and stuff like that on here. If it does catch on fire, I want to be able to put it out quick. I'll bring you back. I'm gonna see if I got a bigger wheel. Let me do that, because it barely reaches in, because your clearance is only that much, and I think I have a bigger wheel, so let me get that first. I got a new disc on there.
What a pain in the ass that was to get off. I don't think that one's been off in a few years. All right, let's see how this goes. And I got a face shield just so that in case this disc explodes. It's pretty close. Let's try this side. I'm gonna take this handle off. It's in the way. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna get a adjustable and see if it'll wiggle. I think there's only a weld across the top. I don't think it goes down the backside. There's that side. Oh, this side's already out. Yeah, okay, so that's one out. Let's get the back one now. Okay, that one's out. All right, so I'm gonna spend a few minutes just cleaning up this edge. Now that we've cut these two bars off the top here and on this side, and I cleaned it up good enough for me, so we'll see if this board that I cut fits. Usually I'm the king of over tight, so I would imagine the first try it's not gonna, oh, that's right, I'm gonna have to set up for that wire I'm gonna have to notch out for this loom to go through. But to do that, I gotta get that foam piece back in. So give me a minute. Okay, so there's the platform in, sitting down solid on those bars, and I just realized that they didn't mount the platform level, but that's okay. So now I'm gonna have to like move this shunt. This was for the battery monitoring, but that's okay. I'll move it over here somewhere. And I'm gonna redo this ground because they just have a little screw. I'm gonna change that to a nut and a bolt. And this ground is no longer good because the ground's over here. So I'm probably gonna move the shunt if it'll reach to this wall. If it'll reach over here, I'll put it here. I think that will reach to right here. And then the ground will come over here to this. The positive, which was this, and then the inverter was this. I've got a battery shutoff switch so that I can just completely kill this to the coach if I want. So I'm gonna have to make a new positive, or I'll probably use this one to go from the positive of the battery through the switch to these. So this positive wire is going to come up, and there's going to be a switch just like this one right here to just shut everything on the battery off. And then this ground cable, I'm obviously going to clean it up, will be over here and go to the ground. This positive is going to go from the positive to the switch, and then all these will mount to the switch. So I've moved the shunt over to here, and the grounds all go through the shunt, Well, I got to remake this cable, which goes up to the slide control, because right now that's the only thing that doesn't go through. It goes directly to ground. I moved the ground from this spot here to a nylock nut bolted to a sanded spot. So this will go to the ground on the battery. This will go to the, oh, by the way, I was wrong on which side was which. The positive is on this side, the ground is on this side. But either way, these would reach either side. And I added this master switch. So all battery voltage will go through the switch, and that goes out to the inverter, the coach, and this is the shunt power. So if I shut this switch off, pretty much everything from the battery is dead. So let's see if the battery fits. That'd suck if it doesn't. Okay, it fits. It's got plenty of room around it. So now I just got to figure out how to keep it from coming out. Bouncing down the road, you know, this can now just slide right out. And I don't want to rely on just this little baggage door to hold it. But fits good. Can't even tell. Looks factory. The wiring's all good. Positive there, negative there. So let's see about securing it. Give me a little bit and I'll be back. Okay, so here's what I got so far. I got this board which just slips in, slides in. It's way back behind the frame of the camper. It's trapped forward and sideways by this. And I'm probably gonna put 2 screws, one there and one there, to make sure it stays down. That means it's not, I mean, it's got a little bit of movement in here, but it is not going to go out this door. Then on each side, on the bottom down there, I screwed down a 3/4 inch board, so there's like a pocket. It keeps it from going up against the back wall. There's one there. I don't know if you can see that in there. Right there, way back in the corner. Oops. There's one right there and one along the side of the battery. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do one of them heavy EPDM bungees. I'm going to drill a hole right here and right here. And there's going to be an EPDM bungee that goes across the top of it. Let's see how that works. So this is what it looks like painted. I got the foam mounted permanently down there. So let's see what it's like for me to lift this battery in. Geez, that's tight. All right. Then our safety bar. There it goes. All right, so there it is, mounted, although something looks not right. Hold on. Oh, there he goes. It wasn't slid over into its box. That's not going anywhere. All right, I'm gonna get it hooked up, and then I have to switch to the charge controller. Okay, so this is the main compartment. And I've taken these false walls off, and this is what a camper's wiring looks like on the inside. It's horrible. But under that mess right there is the charge controller for the lead acid batteries, and I'm going to replace it with this one, which can be switched to lithium. So let me see what it's like to get in there and actually mess around with all that wiring. Okay, so it's in. It was a pain in the butt, I will admit. But I got it in. Fan's clear. The whole side's clear. No wires touching it. And it is on and it is working. So that's a good thing. The back of these, I was worried about this. The back of this the fuse panel for the camper has a plug that the charge controller plugs in. I thought I might have to cut it off and hardwire, but I didn't. So there it is. Progressive Dynamic. Here's the charge wizard. Right now it's an absorption charge. Here's the final look at the batteries, or battery. Battery's on. I don't know why I did the inverter so it was the other way, but anyway, I got to get a wire that goes from the leveling legs to here so that this way it's not grounded directly, it's going through the shunt, and then it'll record that amp out. But I still got to put the walls in. Let's see what it says it's charging here. So it still says it's putting in 22 amps.
Okay, so there's everything put back together. False walls back in. All the stuff we keep in here put back in.
Charge wizard up there.
Everything looks nice. I added the pocket holes and the screws to hold that board. That's not going anywhere. Battery's not going anywhere. I figured out that I could, this lug was bigger, so I could turn the cable around and it would fit here. So I did move the ground for this. And I'm surprised at how much current that takes. 55 amps moving the slides. But, so now all the grounds go through the shunt. I put these things on and I'm happy with it. I think it looks really good. I think it looks pretty professional. I think it's safe. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.